Why is the music so loud? There we go. That's better. What on earth? I'm trying to get some more space on my screen. Hang on. Let's see if I can I dock that up there out of the way? Yes. Okay. So can I make that a bit thinner? No. No, why is... Oh. I tell you, a week off and I've forgotten how to do anything. No, that's definitely not what I wanted to do. Stop it. Help. Someone help. We know what we're doing, honestly. We don't need that on. There we go. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Right. Hopefully we're live. Are we live? We're live. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Okay. It's having a bit of a... You know what it's like when you take a bit of time off. Anyway. No, still too loud. Competing with the music a bit this morning. As you can probably hear, I'm still sick. I feel okay. I'm just lingering cough and spluttering and weirdness and snot buckets, you know. But I feel okay, so I'm back. And if you don't like listening to people who sound like they've got a cold or cough periodically, then maybe this stream isn't for you. But I can't sit around. When I'm feeling okay, I can't sit around doing nothing, and it's annoying me that I'm 2 weeks behind and everything else. So, bah. Here we are. There we go. That said, normally... Oh, yeah. Let's say hello first, shall we? Hi. I'm Romany. This is Romany's Realm, and we mess about with journals and planning and things and sketchbooks and stuff over here. I have been off sick, so I'm a bit rusty. I missed my favourite time of the year. I missed Halloween because I was sick. I didn't get to finish my Halloween journal challenge, which I miffed about. I missed my day. I was supposed to do a live stream on the 27th. No, we were too sick to do it. Literally lying in bed going, So, yeah, I'm a bit miffed. I don't think I've missed Halloween before. I've been sick over Halloween, but not that sick, you know. Anyway, nice to see you back. Nice to be back. What I normally do here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays is futsy about in my planner and then do a bit of journaling or sketching or something. That music is still too loud. I'm competing with it today. There we go. So yeah, I usually do some planning and journaling, but my brain isn't together enough to do planning today. I need to do that in quiet, away from other people, where I'm not being distracted, or I won't get anything done. I'm just going to be all over the place. So I'm not going to do planning today. I should be doing like getting into November, starting looking at December and what I need to do for that, and catching up on the 2 weeks and working out where I'm up to. My brain doesn't have it in me today, so we're not doing that. I can't do that with a live audience today. No. Maybe we'll get to a bit of it tomorrow, but we're not getting to it today. What I thought I'd talk about today instead is journaling. Let's switch to... Oh, I don't have the big face camera on here. Oh, okay, never mind. It's just going to be me talking here for a bit. Where do I start? I've always kept a journal. I call it a journal. It's just basically a notebook that I carried around with me everywhere and made notes in and drew in. And it was just a very eclectic bunch of stuff, you know. I would write down what was happening during the day, or I would draw things during the day, or I would doodle in it during lessons because ADHD, hi. Or I would scribble things, notes, you know, don't forget to bring such and such to school on Friday for so and so. Silly jokes that we used to tell each other, that kind of thing. You know, kids. And then when I got to high school, it developed a little bit more. Became a bit more journally, in the sense of writing about what was happening and what goings on, as teenagers are wont to do. Mine was a little bit more angsty than most because I hit goth quite early, and started contemplating philosophy and the meaning of life and things like that. So that was fun. Then I went to university and I started taking my lecture notes in it as well, and continuing to draw and journal and take notes and add post-its. And I started adding in pictures that I found interesting, or collage things, or, you know, just generally branching out. And eventually it turned into what you probably think of when you think of my journals is an eclectic mix of what the hell is this? Because I do all sorts of things in my journals. I write, I do book reviews, I do, you know, all the things that people list when they say, oh, I'm going to have a journal for this, 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 and then I'm going to have a commonplace book, and then I'm going to have this. I used to do it all in this one notebook. One A4 notebook used to last me about maybe a month if I was lucky. I have very, 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 very tiny handwriting. So taking lecture notes and things wasn't actually that bad. I could usually take lecture notes on the back of the handout, or even in the margins of the handout if necessary, to save space in my notebook. But generally I was pretty good at taking notes and keeping them short and sweet and not writing very big. So, you know, a book would last me about a month. And then, you know, I just kept doing it. And when I started doing YouTube, I started expanding that a little bit. I just started trying different notebooks, trying different ways of doing things, adding colour, adding, you know, what we do here. And then the 2020 happened. And like many people, I threw my journal in a corner and a half and went, well, what is the point even? It's funny because the people who didn't journal before or only dabbled in it tended to be the ones who were suddenly like tracking statistics in the area and you know, doing all this, that and the other. And especially people who had jobs outside the house that required a lot of brain work, they were funneling that into, well, I'm now sitting at home doing nothing, so what do I do? And they kind of got into journaling about the panini. I don't know if we're allowed to say those words anymore, but we weren't at one point. So that was really interesting, but I went the other way. I just got into sketching. I just ignored what was going on in the world and went back to sketching. And I've never really got back out of it. Everything I've done recently, my 100-day project, my challenges, all of that have all been to do with sketching and drawing and all that kind of stuff. Now, sketching and drawing is part of my journaling, but I also used to do other things like collecting quotes and making notes about, you know those things where you see something interesting on Instagram and you think, oh, I must look that up, or you see a funny meme or a funny quote or something, and you know, I used to print them out and stick them in my book and stuff like that. or you'd write down something interesting from a news article so you could go and look it up later. All those things that people tend to just screenshot or save on Instagram, I actually used to do something with them. And I want to get back into it, and I've been trying, and I'm not doing very well. So I started doing the Halloween Journal Challenge, which I was doing great with. I toot my own horn here. I was doing fantastic with the Halloween Journal Challenge until, in fact, right up until my parents came up. My parents were here for a few days. My mum brought the lurgy with her and left it here. This is how I got sick, because I've told her the next time she comes up here with a, oh, I've been sick, but I feel much better now. I've just got a bit of a cough. One or both of us is wearing a mask, because I'm not catching this again. So, anyway, they were up here. So I had a week where I wasn't streaming, and then I got sick. So I had another week where I wasn't streaming, and I've had a lot of time to just sit and think, and think about what is it I used to do when I was sick and I was just lying in bed and thinking I feel like crap. I mean, other than lying in bed feeling like crap, but you have those days where you're like, okay, I feel a little bit better. I could do with something to get my brain going for an hour. Now what am I going to do? And I couldn't figure out what I used to do, and then it hit me that what I used to do was journaling. I used to just grab my sketchbook and draw what was next to me, or write about something, or complain about how sick I was and how I wanted to be out doing things and I couldn't because I was lying in bed coughing. That sort of thing. Good morning, Jess. You're super behind too. Hubby was in hospital. Oh no. Oh, I hope he's feeling better. Yeah, I'm still a snot bucket, and I'm still coughing, but I feel better. So here we are. Hi, Miss Maddie. Miss Maddie's all out of sorts because she was under the impression that we had now taken to spending all day, every day in bed. She's a little disappointed that we're not doing that anymore. She keeps coming in here and going, are we going back to bed anytime soon? Well, no. Sorry, love. Anyway, yeah, so that brings us up to date with me trying and failing to kick my journaling off again. I spent a little bit of time in my journal last night. I've got several journals where I've started and stopped, or I've done it for a month, and then this one I actually used this one June 2022. And I kept it going through to April of 2023, but I only did... August 2023. But I only did that much. Which is ridiculous when you think I was filling an A4 book in a month. Like, what's that about? That's not journaling, is it? And honestly, most of this is drawing. Most of it is actually sketching things, taking up a whole page of sketching. So I wasn't really journaling. So yeah, I am on a quest to get back into my journaling and figure out how to do it again. What is it I like about journaling? Because I haven't journaled properly since before 2020. No, since 2020. I think about 3 weeks into lockdown, I gave up on journaling because I was just like, I'm done. I can't with this. And I've tried to get back into it, and I can't figure out what it is I do anymore, if that makes sense. I tried to do some yesterday, and I said to my group, it feels like using somebody else's toothbrush. Because I don't feel like I'm doing my journaling yet. I can't figure out what it is that I do. Or how I do it, or anything. So here we are. And that's what we're trying to figure out. In my quest for such things, I've obviously, with lying in bed, feeling like bleh, I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I will put links and things down below in the description afterwards, and I'm going to keep a list of things that I need to put down below afterwards. But looks like I already kept a list of stuff that I was supposed to put on something afterwards, and I haven't done it because it's still there. Okay. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh, the memory is fluffy. The fog is real, guys. The fog brain is real. Foggy flu brain. What was I literally just saying? Keeping a list of... Oh, yes, keeping a list. So I was watching YouTube, and some of the things I was watching was... somehow I found... I can never remember her name. I think it's Jashi. She's an Australian girl. Does a lot of bullet journaling. Like, all the bullet journaling. She's very good. But she doesn't do the kind of bullet journaling that I like. She doesn't do the kind of journaling that I like, but she has lots of ideas. And it's the ideas that I'm interested in. I don't need somebody to show me how to make a layout in a dot grid notebook about how to track my TBR list. I just need the ideas of, well, what you could make a list of books to be read. You could make a list of books you've already read this year. Are you doing the Goodreads challenge? Incorporate that into your journal. Just to spark those creative jumps that make me think, oh yeah, actually I do want to put that in my journal. So Jashi, I think her surname starts with W, and I can't remember what it is. Shall I have a look on my phone and see if I can... There's a good idea. Yeah, our brain is not functioning today. Jashi Corin. There it is. Jashi Corin. It's not W, it's C. Actually, I don't think she's Australian. I think she's from New Zealand. But she does similar things to me. She does, bullet journaling live for like 3 or 4 hours, different layouts of a specific thing or different things you could use to set up a journal initially, all sorts of stuff. Like I say, it's not really my kind of thing because it's not, it's a bit too formal and bullet journaly and structure-y for me, but I like her ideas. She's got a lot of ideas, and she's not unpleasant to listen to, which some people are difficult to listen to, I find. Sometimes it's because they've got an annoying accent. Sometimes it's because they've got a weird tone to their voice that I can't... I'm very audio sensitive. But she's got a very pleasant mid-tone voice. She talks at a good speed. She waffles and goes around things, but then she comes back to the point and carries on. She's very... I don't know. She's very personable. I like the way she speaks. So I find it easy to listen to her longer videos. Then the other one I've been watching, of course, is Danny Gregory, Sketchbook School. Always my first port of call, because there's something about not the way he journals. I mean, he writes, he sketches, he makes notes, he all that sort of stuff like I used to do. That's my jam. It's not that I need somebody to teach me how to do that, but again, the ideas and the inspiration, and more importantly, the motivation. That's what I get from Danny Gregory, is the motivation. 3 Danny Gregory videos and I want to grab my sketchbook or my journal. I don't know, there's something about him that makes me think, wait a minute, I can do this. Why am I not doing this why am I not sitting sketching while I'm watching this video? Why am I not making notes? Why am I not doing this? And then I go and do it. And that's the key. It's not just, why am I not doing this? It's and then I go and do it. So he's very motivational. It's like having your own mini TED talk. And I love his books. His books are fantastic. Creative License is my favourite because it's kind of an amalgam of all his other books. But all his books are good. I've got all of them. And he makes everything sound doable. You know, he doesn't make anything sound complicated. He's like, you know, just, you don't need a whole list of supplies. You just need a book and a pen or a pencil or whatever it is you want to use. That's all you need. Just have at it. Add things as you go if you want to, but that's all you need to get started. And I like that because it fits with my ethos of just grab a pen, grab a book and a ballpoint pen and off you go, which is what I used for years. Literally an A4 notebook and a black ballpoint pen, and that was it. And one of the things I've found getting back into it is that I keep not being able to make up my mind what book I want to use or what pen I want to use today, or, you know, I want to draw something, but do I want to draw in pencil or do I want to draw in pen, or do I want to do this, do I want to do that? It's almost like I've got too many choices, you know. And Miss Maddie, stop your moaning. Yeah, it's like I've got too many choices and I don't know where to. I know what I want to do in my head. Like in my head, I can visualize myself sitting there journaling as if I'm sitting outside myself, looking at me. I'm sat on the sofa, curled up with the dog, you know, probably watching something on the TV. And I've got my notebook on my lap and I'm doodling or whatever. And I know what that feels like. I can sit in that body and know what it feels like and know what it looks like. And then it doesn't happen. The wall of everything, yes. Yes. There's too many choices. Like, if you go into a shop and there's only 3 choices of chocolate bars, it's very easy to decide what you want. I don't want that one because it's got nuts in. I don't like white chocolate, so I'll go with this one. This'll do. You know, that's... Or you go, well, I don't like any of those, so I guess get a sandwich instead or something. Have a bag of crisps. I like all of those. What am I going to do? Well, which one haven't I had in ages? That one. I'll go with that one. It's very easy to make that choice. But when you walk into, like, the chocolate factory, and there's one of everything in every flavour and every colour, and then all the special edition packaging and everything else, and you just, like, it's overwhelming, and you don't know what to do. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. The wall of everything, yes. Hi, Sylvia. I'm still sick, so I am still a bit coughy and snotty, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. But I've got to get back to it. I can't just sit around not doing it. Hi, Marie. This is an election-free zone. We are pretending the election's not happening because I'm sick of it. Honestly, I've been sick of it for weeks. I don't want to hear about it. So, yeah, happy US election day and moving on. We're a politics-free zone here because I'm... One, you don't want me on that soapbox. And 2, I just want to pretend it's not happening until it's over. And then I may want to pretend it's not happening either. It's not like I'm American and I should be taking note of it. I'm in the UK. We did our job already. It's your turn now. One sec. How do I mute? Sorry about that. We had to cough up a fiver there. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. And of course, just when you are at the point where you can't take any more in and you're like, wow, I'm so overloaded, and you think, I need to simplify. Along comes a book and you go, there you go, there's the answer. I'll get a book. My problems will be solved. Right? That's what we do. That's what we do. We buy a book and our problems are solved. They're not, but let's pretend they are. So, I've actually had this on pre-order for a while, so it wasn't like I went out and looked for a book on journaling or anything like that. This is Sketched Out Artistic Sketchbooks and Journals Unveiled. Now, the problem with this book, and I'm not putting this book as a recommendation for journalers. I'm putting that out there straight away. Don't go running to Amazon to go and buy this book until you've seen what's in it. The problem with this book is that it's not what I expected. And the reason it's not what I expected is because books like this are rarely what you expect. When you get a book like this and it says sketched, right? Sketching, artistic sketchbooks, so by artists, and journals. Okay, so you expect them to be by artists working out ideas or sketching ideas or this, that and the other, you know. And then they're not. They're the kind of books that I like where it's journals, it's just people capturing stuff. It's not artistic. And the problem with that is that you tend to assume that all books like that are going to be like that, and this book is not like that. So it's not what I expected, because it is what you expect when you look at these books, and then you're disappointed because they're not what you expected. Do you get me? This is sketchbooks of fine artists and graphic designers, and well, some people are just sketchbook artists, but it's not what you normally get when you look at these books, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. So if you're frustrated that you look at these books and they're not what you expect, then maybe this is the book for you. If you look at these books and you're surprised because they are not what you expect but they're what you wanted, then I would skip this one. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean. There are various questions and answers, and it's a group project kind of book. There's not one particular author or anything like that. There's 3 different introductions and so on. And it started off promisingly with Bryce Weimer. I'm familiar with them. He does a lot of surrealist type sketching. So his books, his sketchbooks reflect his art. And it started off with, you know, like these questions and things. How long do you spend in your sketchbook? Why is a sketchbook important for you? Why do you think other people should keep sketchbooks and stuff? There's even like notes from the artist himself, like handwritten notes from the artist, which is, you know, this is kind of what I was expecting. How do you capture ideas? You know, all this sort of thing. And for this particular one, you can look at it and go, oh, yeah, I can see where these ideas from and how they develop into finished pieces, or where he's just playing around with stuff and playing around with contrast and design and close-up and all that kind of thing. So I was quite enjoying it up to this point. This is quite cool, you know, very engineering type anatomical sketches, figure sketches and things like that. Quite obviously a graphic design background and so on. And then we moved on to this, which is very much focusing on negative space. And I was like, okay, you're a graphic designer. Because don't you look at these pages and go, oh yeah, that's a graphic designer? Because yeah, a graphic designer. From this point on, as it got into this book, the introductions to the artists, the art meant less and less to me. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good, okay? It's art in a sketchbook, so it doesn't have to be good. It has to be capturing ideas. You can see where those different, for a graphic designer, I can see where the 3D-ness of chiseling away at different objects like that and thinking of them in terms of sculpture and not being too prissy about the perspective and all that kind of thing. I can see how that is forming ideas and concepts. But at the same time, I'm like, well, who needs to look at a book and go, oh, look at that? I mean, and that's not disrespecting the artist, okay? I get the concept of, but this is what I do in my sketchbook, and for some people that's very freeing. The fact that you can just do a single line following a contour. Okay, great. I don't find it inspiring myself, is what I'm saying. So if that's what you find inspiring, it's interesting seeing the concepts behind it, and I can understand why they're doing it, but it's not for me. It's very much like Yassi Corin with her bullet journaling layouts. I can see why she's doing it, and they're beautiful, and I like listening to her, and I like watching her do it, but I don't want to do it myself. I'm not interested. This is a little bit more kind of, I can understand where she's coming from, because she's doing original sketches and concepts and ideas. And then we get to here, and this is kind of where I lost it. Because, and I know it sounds snobby, and I don't mean it to sound snobby, but it's the only way I can explain it. I have a real issue with art that comes across as pretentious. And the whole, let's draw a red circle on a blue background and add some green tufts and call it a tomato. When that's not what you do, you actually do fine art. I find irritating, honestly. I don't know how else to put it. I just find it irritating. This guy's a graphic designer. I can see, he's exploring concepts. He's doing ideas. I can see that. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. Not in any way, shape or form. This is how people capture basic ideas. But it's not what I find inspiring, because I don't want to look at a picture that could have been drawn by the 3-year-old. The concepts are interesting. Why does this one have Olympic rings? Was it an Olympic rings? Was it a design for the Olympics? Was there something about that? This has it too. Why does that have it? What's the tomato got to do with the Olympics? Why is this blue and yellow and still got tomato written on it? 2020 was Olympics a year. In that sense, it gets my brain going. I can see the creativity behind it. But I don't find this inspiring as a book to look at and go, oh yeah, there's an idea. Let's explore that myself. Who hasn't taken their date stamp and stamped all over a page? I mean, and then this happened, and I was like, I got to the point where I don't get it anymore. It feels like pages were selected to be, for want of a better word, edgy. And that always kind of annoys me. I did enjoy this one. This is Tom Froese. I don't know. He's an illustrator. He works with very bright colours, Poscas, coloured backgrounds, all sorts of things. This I found really interesting because it was taking a basic concept and simplifying it and using colour He drew his laundry pile in Posca markers. That's the kind of thing I can understand and that I look at and go, oh, that's an interesting concept. Yeah, I've never drawn on yellow paper. Let's try that. Oh, I haven't used acrylic markers on black paper in ages. Maybe I'll try that today. Oh, let's see if we can simplify this laundry pile into like 3 colours. That's the kind of thing that I can get ideas and inspiration from. So this I really liked. And obviously everybody gets different things from different stuff, and I totally get that. And I'm not saying it's not a good book. I'm saying look at the book before you decide that it's something that you actually want to buy. In fact, I would recommend getting it from the library. Ask your library to buy it. Because if this is not going to float your boat, I mean, I get it. This guy is a graphic designer. He specialises in typography. And not only does he specialise in typography, he specialises in creating bespoke alphabets for certain brands and things like that. I get it. Okay? But I don't find this inspiring. Do you? I mean, write a word big on a page. There's your write it in 9 different ways on a page with a Sharpie. That doesn't do anything for me. And I'm not saying that doesn't do anything for others. Maybe you're really into typography, you're really into lettering, you're really into... I could imagine someone who's a calligrapher, who spends a lot of time working on very detailed stuff, who spends a lot of time doing things by hand in a very intricate way, might go, I kind of like that. I like the freedom of just pick up a Sharpie and block capital it. Maybe that's something that would inspire them, but it's not for me. So, yeah, this book is very... I do like this one, Hattie Stewart. It's very pop art meets tattoo flash. I love this concept of just taking headers from magazines and newspapers and stuff like that and filling the page with it. That's something you could do over time, that you don't have to do all in one go. You could, when you see something that's interesting or fun or whatever, you could cut it out and stick it in. Exploring colours and colourways by doing checkerboards. That's an interesting concept. Doodling squares. Who doesn't love doodling squares? So this I found really interesting. So there are things in here that I'm glad I bought the book for. But the cost of the book was not worth the payoff for what I got from it, I think. I don't know. I found these bits more interesting, where it's Q&A and they're asking certain questions like, what does your sketchbook mean to you and what inspires you to use it? A lot of the answers for this, and I love the fact that it's written in the artist's handwriting. That was a definite plus for me. I love seeing other people's handwriting. I always find it fun. I love that some of the people did it as a visual concept or a sketch. I think that was great. I liked some of the answers were fantastic. A lot of them talked about it being a safe space where they didn't feel any pressure to do anything fabulous or complete or finished or perfect, that it was just somewhere they could dump ideas and come back to them later. This one was really interesting. Like she said, graphically, my sketchbook represents graphically how I see the world. Which, fair. I got more value from this bit than I did from the rest of the book. These bits are really interesting. So, if this is the kind of book you're looking at and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to pull this, get this and have a look through it, maybe you would, but you might not want to buy it necessarily until you've had a look through it. I think if I'd had the opportunity to look through it first, I probably would have flipped through it, written down the names of the writers, the artists that I liked, and looked them up on Instagram. This one was hilarious. I love this one. Who is it? I think that's Tom Froese again. Should have known from the yellow and black. The prompt was, because some of these are prompts, not questions. Sketch the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word doodle. And he drew a doodle. And he played with the word. Sketch the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word doodle. I want to redo, or should I say redoodle? Doodle, doodle, do. This is Bugby, my doodle. This is Bobby the Costco doodle. He's actually beige in real life. I just find it really funny that he took his train of thought, you know, and literally put it on the page. That one thing there was more inspiring to me than a lot of the rest of it. So there are nuggets in here that I find fantastic, and I just really wanted to dive deep into, and some of them, like this one, I've already gone and looked this girl up, Kristen Liu Wong. I've already looked her up on Instagram because I love this. This is what I expected. Not this style, but this kind of thing was what I expected. She's going to museums. She's drawing things from museums. She's making notes about what she sees, but then also she's doing little doodled sections where she's saying what she did that day, where she just brainstormed for a collab show with Luke. Title of the show: The Antiques Roadshow inspired pieces, wishful thinking. And then she's drawn a vase from something from a visit to the Met in 2019, but drawn in 2020. So she'd obviously drawn from a photo or a photo reference or something. She's got a concept for a design, an illustration design, and then at the bottom, learned about cognitive double tapping to reduce stress from LA today. This is my imagined safe space. And then she's doodled the date. I found this really interesting, and this was what I was kind of looking for, but it's not really what I got. So, yeah. Like I say, your mileage will vary in this book very much. So if you're interested in it, I'll hold it there so you can get a screenshot if you want to, but I'll put the information in the description down below. It literally just came out last week. I had it on pre-order for months, and it just arrived last week. If you're interested in it, there it is. I love the book itself. It's canvas covered. It's got a lot of texture to it. It feels like a sketchbook. It's got a bookmark. Honestly, give me a bookmark and I'm happy. I wish all books came with bookmarks. All books should come with bookmarks. All sketchbooks and all books should come with bookmarks. If you're looking at this and like, it's not really floating my boat. It's not quite the visual feast I was looking for. It's a bit more gourmet restaurant than all-you-can-eat buffet. I would suggest this one. This is an old book. It's from the 1000 Journals Project. Some guy, that was his name, some guy, back in 2007, I think, sent out 1,000 journals across the world and hoped that they would come back, basically. And these are ones that came back, and these are pages from the ones that came back. And they are a cross-section of life. These bits are... Back in the days of Blogspot, that's how old this is. Back in the days of Blogspot, he had a tracking thing where he had a page or a blog entry for each journal. And you left a comment. If you got the journal, you left a comment. So they tracked this one through Brooklyn, New York, across to Japan, and then back to Hollywood, where somebody... left it on his porch. So some guy himself actually left the last note saying, I came home and this journal was on my porch. And the previous note was somebody going, I flew back home to the US and I had to pass through Los Angeles, so I went up to North Hollywood and I thought I'd leave the book. Nobody was in, so I just left the book for them. But you've got everything in this, from this kind of simple, just fill a page with stuff, to more art journaly type stuff, to people actually written journaling, writing about who they are and what they do, and etc. etc. This fascinating entry: I blow up buildings for a living. Somebody drew their dog. There's one page where somebody had taped in an envelope and written a letter and left some money in the envelope, and it was about they said I've sealed $20 in this envelope. So they'd like stuck the envelope to the page. The $20 was in the envelope, and they'd written on the page and said, I've put $20 in this. If you need the money, please take it. I can afford it. If it's going to help you in some way, go for it. And this was like right near the beginning of the book, and almost at the end of the book, somebody had written underneath, I took the $20, my train was cancelled, and I managed to get a taxi home with it, so I didn't have to sleep at the station. And then a couple of days later, it said, I've put the $20 back in. I hope it helps somebody else. And it was just, I love that kind of thing. It was just so, this is so interesting. To me, this is like, look at this page. What the hell is going on here? What is this about? What are you doing? What are you, improvisation, improving structure. No, improv and structure. Alpha and Omega, the circle and the cycle. Oh, hang on, that's Buddhists. Oh, okay, this bit's upside down. Why is that bit upside down? I don't know. They obviously just had the book upside down at one point. A brief sketch of the Last Supper by Aaron Heidelman. Jesus is handing Judas a piece of bread in 6-point perspective. This is so much more interesting. I'm like, and where is that? Did you see that on the internet? Did you go to a museum and see that? Is that some research you were doing? What is this? What is it? And why is everything based on circles? This is obviously somebody working something out, trying to learn something, and I'm fascinated by this. I could spend hours on this page alone. And then you've got other things that are, poetry. I wash dishes at a restaurant and I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior in high school. I've been dating the same girl for 10 months. Every day I dream of fortunes and riches and life without complications or responsibilities. One of my friends is addicted to meth. And then it's got this poem that he wrote. It's like... And then something completely different. Just pure collage and art, and let's make it look pretty and interesting. And this is what I was looking for with that other book. But an up to date. And this is fun. Look, somebody got... I don't know if that's somebody drawing in it. These are comments from the books, from the web blog. It's not as easy as it looks. I've seen some amazing things in the pages of these journals. Just wait till it's your turn and it keeps staring at you and calling to you. Put something worthy on the pages to show the world what you can do. It's an albatross around your neck begging for potential greatness. It becomes your adopted baby for a time. Or not. Maybe it's my personal neurosis. It's done, it's scanned, it's off, it's all good things. I pass it on with the utmost sentimentality. Please take care of her. Isn't that how so many people feel about their journals? That's how I feel about my journal. And there's so many people in these pages saying things like, I've had this book for 3 months. There's one girl who followed her entire breakup and moving and meeting somebody else and then marrying them 8 weeks later. And then her life completely changed again a few months later because she was pregnant and they moved in together. And they bought a house together. And she couldn't let go of the journal. She said, I've had this journal for over a year. I couldn't let go of it because it documented a time of enormous change into a period of enormous happiness for me. And it was sentimental. And now I feel like everything's stable, everything's good, and I can let go of it. I can pass the journal on. And it's fascinating seeing people connect with journals like that. Who recognises that art? If you're not looking at that and going, oh, that's Tracy Moore's work, then you don't know who Tisha and Tracy Moore are. Then you got this, it's more kind of funny, cartoony type things. Carpal tunnel, ow, ow, ow. Tumbleweed and scuffleweeds, because they're fighting. And then you've got this, which is like trees collaged, arty type stuff. Which I'm also here for. And you've got really interesting things like this. And you look at that and you're like, okay, so it's pink background and a bit of a face. And then you look at this and it says, what are you looking at? Oh. Oh! Oh! Yeah, what are you looking at? What am I looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Yeah, okay. And your brain starts going off down that ramble of, ooh, what about this? And then there's stuff like this. This was, I mean, this has been recreated, but it's a scan of fabric images, but it was obviously originally sewn into the book. So somebody had taken fabric leaves and sewn them into the book. I'm inspired. This is a real feast. There is no way you will ever pick up this book and not be inspired to do something. And then you've got normal everyday journaling where somebody's literally telling you what's the weather like? What have you done today? Why am I feeling like this? This is where I am. This is what the date is. I'm working in the 1000 journals. Here's a picture of me. Here's a picture of my dog. Yeah, you know. So yeah, if you're really looking to be inspired, Aisling Dar, she's one of the very first art journalers that I followed. Her and Tara Lee, back in the days before Yahoo Groups was Yahoo Groups. Like this is early Windows 95 AOL dial-up for 25 minutes internet. Before Google, when Lycos the Labrador was your go-to for finding things on the web. Okay? This is old school. She was one of the first people I met who did what I did, which was this kind of stuff, you know, putting in pictures and capturing events and writing about them and that kind of thing. So yeah, this is, if you're going to buy a book, I'd go for this one. It's half the price of that one. And it's just, there's no way you'll ever open this book and not be inspired by something in it. So that is the 1000 Journals Project by some guy. Again, this is a very popular book. You can probably get it in a library. It's by Chronicle Books. And I think, I mean, it's so old. I mean, it's 2007, I think. Or, well, I don't know when it was published, but yeah, 2007. Chronicle Books, San Francisco. It's so old you can get it secondhand on eBay. just go and get it on eBay, or look for it in secondhand shops, or get it from the library. But if you need a book that you can just dip in and out of to sit on your coffee table and look at and go, that's what I could do today, then this is it. And the funny thing is, this is kind of what I imagine my journal to be like, because I do things like this where it's just me talking about my dog, but then I do arty stuff, and then I do days where I just draw like a child, and then I do days where I just write in big pen, and then I do days where I capture something important, or world events, and then I do have days where I do something arty-farty, and I do have days where I just doodle. And this book is what I imagine my own journal to be like, and I'm trying to recapture that, and I don't know how. This is one of my favourites. I love this one. Went to Loch Ness, didn't see Nessie. So, and they've got fascinating, this is a good one, they have a fascinating little comic, basically about the pages 60 to 61, where the things on the pages are asking about what came before and what comes after, and are there other pages like us? Are there parallel worlds? And then what is journal theory, right? And it talks about how we're just a page in a journal, and there are hundreds of other journals doing the same thing, parallel worlds that are the same as us but different, following different trails. Literally the 1,000 journals going around the world. Fantastic concept, just so cool. It's a shame it doesn't say who the author was. This person didn't put their name on. Some people put their name on, some people just filled pages and were done with it. Yeah, that's again, I'll put it there so you can screenshot it if you want to, but I'll put the information down below. This whole concept is what we're exploring over on Patreon this month. So if you are a patron, or you want to be a patron, the $10 tier and up, or if you want just the arty side of it, the $7.50 art tier, we're going to be exploring journaling and talking about journaling and what is journaling for different people. And we've got some prolific journalers in our group. We got Cody. Most of you know Paper Doll Cody. Paper Story Arts, Cody's Journals over on Instagram. She's got more journals than you shake a stick at. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to let go of that, this is how I journal, and just turn the page and do stuff. So, this is one of my current journals. Excuse me, I'm snotty. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Had to, clear the airways, as it were. The one good thing that came out of the pandemic was everybody has hand sanitizer everywhere now. Even me. So yeah, this is one of my current journals. I've got a couple of different ones because I can't quite settle, and I haven't been able to settle. But I'm trying to use them, fill them, do something with them. I just can't quite figure out how or why, how or what. So my idea is at the moment, I've got this one, and oh, I should go and get it. Hang on, it's only here. Just give me a sec. Oh, my knee's gone stiff. I've been lying in bed instead of sitting at my desk, and now an hour sat at my desk and I'm all stiff and sore and can't move properly. Hang on. Let me have some cough syrup, that'll... That's better. It just takes the irritation away so you stop coughing for a bit. So these are two of my journals. This one you'll probably recognise. I used this one for the Halloween challenge, which I was doing great with. I was really into it. I was loving it. There was lots of different things that I was trying. I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just doing stuff. But it is very obviously challenge stuff. It's not daily journaling kind of thing. It's just kind of following a prompt. Yeah, I got up to 24 out of 31. So I've got the pages marked, and I probably will come back and do them at some point. I'd really like to at least do my page, because I feel like I owe it to the group to at least do my page. But I've got all this, look, all of this. And it's nice paper, it's good paper to work on, it takes all sorts of stuff. I think I've showed you this one before, so I'll just quickly flick through it. This is, this was a misprint of something. I decided to print it in a different way. I think it was for my Poe book, and I decided to print it in a different colourway, in sepia. So I shoved it in here with the idea of, I'll put that in my journal. So this is literally just me playing around with stuff. And this is much more what I think of when I think of how I journal. I've got pages, like this is a sketch of Maddie that I never finished. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and finish them. We've got colour swatches. We've got page with brown paper on that because I liked the brown paper and it felt nice and I wanted to draw on it, but I haven't thought of anything to draw on it yet. Stickers I made for my class. A doodle from that song, what's her name? Miley Cyrus, is it? I Can Buy Myself Flowers. And I'm like, yeah, I could, but I'd rather have coffee and pizza. I was watching Stranger Things. I've got a page of quotes. This was for astronomy information for Jupiter, for a class, sketchbook pages. This is much more what I think of when I think this is my journal. And then Maddie's birthday, we've got photos and stuff. Then I put in my books for the year. This is the first half of the year, the books I've read, and then I've just been writing down the books I've read here. I've missed a couple here. Got a couple not on the list, so I haven't updated that, have I? But see, this is what gets me going, flipping back through my journal and going, oh, I didn't finish that page. Oh, I could do something on that brown paper. Hi, Chris. Cough warning, I'm still a bit grotty. I'm trying to turn it off when I can. I've got a couple of books here that I haven't written down. Thursday Murder Club I read. Actually, I put them in here yesterday. See, this is what I mean. I've got some stuff in some journals and some stuff in others. Carmilla, Guide Star, 12 Nights in Rotterhouse, and The Boneyard. The idea is once I've got these books for this half of the year, I will do another one of these and print it out and stick it on this page. And I've got the list here of what I've read. See, this is my Goodreads challenge for 2024. Oh, god damn it. Bloody cough, I tell you. It's driving me a little bit insane. Hi, Miss Maddie. Put a little bit of light on. Hi, baby. Belly rubs. Belly rubs. Oh, belly rubs. Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch, everybody. Big stretch. Big stretch. Maddie says it's big stretch time. There you go, my love. Good girl. Okay. This was pages I'd done in my Hobonichi, and when I took it apart to put it in my Filofax, I salvaged these pages because these are my TBR lists and stuff. Oh, God. I'm getting annoyed now. Hey, Mika. I was alright when I started, and it's gradually getting worse. We may have to cut the session short if it gets much worse, but we'll see. A particular series I've been watching, some collage, some sketching. You know, this was how I was getting back into it, and then I started doing the Halloween journal challenge because I thought that would be a good way of getting back into journaling, and actually what it did was shoved me into a rut. Not that I'm not liking what I did or that I didn't enjoy it, I absolutely did, but it shoved me into a rut because this is doing art prompts, it's not journaling for me. So now I want to get back into it, and I'm like, ugh. But of course, instead of picking up this book, then I picked up my other book. Because that's what I do. Because I can never settle. So this one is a Moleskine expanded. You know me, I love my Moleskines. There's writing, there's journaling, there's art. It started off being a lot more arty. And then I kind of stopped doing it, and then I don't know, really. Oh, those pages are stuck together. Fair enough. Oh, this was. Now, see, this looks like it's arty, but it's not. I was watching a podcast, a video podcast on YouTube. Yeah, thanks, Kitty. I don't need any home remedies. I'm good. I was watching a podcast, and they had these really cool teacups that they were having their tea out. And I drew the teacups, and then, you know, notes and things, and Daunters. That's by Bun's Pug. He's so cool. Watching Emily D. Baker, and I drew her, you know, this is... I made a note about Roe versus Wade being overturned and stuff, and then there's sketching, and there's pictures of Maddie, and again, we're back to this kind of stuff, and just sketchbooking while I was out and about, and drawing weird cows. I think that was a I think that might have been a Patreon exercise. I'm not sure. These were Patreon exercises where we drew each other's desks, books I want to read, mood, I hate fireworks. Yes, don't we all? Fan fiction notes and drawing bones and my friend's dog and a bullet journal list because I had nowhere to make some notes. And then a comment on one of my fanfics that I loved the comment, so I printed it out, and pictures of my family visiting. I threw coffee all over this page. It's okay, it's dry now. The pen was waterproof, so it wasn't a problem. This is what I was talking about printing things off Instagram. This just made me laugh. Halloween in the bookstore. The unread. This is the TBR list. I'm only 10 books away from finishing my Goodreads book list, which I thought was really good. I'm only 10 books away, and then I was like, oh, hang on a minute, there's only 8 weeks left to Christmas. Actually, there's only 8 weeks left to the end of the year. But over Christmas week, I'll probably read 3 books, so I'm not too worried. I think I'm going to finish my challenge. But I thought I'd write down those 10 books that I want to do, because I've got the last one of a series, and then there's a new one coming out in the series on the 24th. So happy Christmas to me. That'll be my Christmas Eve read. I've got a couple of books that I've started but not finished, so I thought I'd put those on, and I'll just start them again and finish them this time. They're not books I'm not going to finish, so they're not what are they called? I don't know. I can't. There's an acronym for it. I can't remember what it is. But books I'm not going to finish. They're not books I'm not going to finish. They're books I wanted to finish, but I started and then I got distracted, and now I have to go back and read the beginning of them again because I don't know what they were about. So I've put those down as ones that I should probably go back to. And I've got 4 more that I haven't decided what I'm going to write yet. And then I thought, well, what if I print out the pages, the front covers of the books, and write a little bit about what the book was about? Because when I go back to these books and I'm like, I have no idea what any of these books are about. No idea. One of them I was 2/3 of the way through and I have no idea what it's about. And I tend to do that. I tend to not have any idea what a book is about once I've finished it. So yeah, I printed the 4 out, and I thought, I'll make some notes about what each book was about while I can still remember. This is notes from a masterclass I was doing. DNF, thank you! Did not finish. Thank you, Mika. That's what I was trying to think of. DNF, did not finish. I've got the masterclass course. My parents got it for me for Christmas last year, and I've been gradually working my way through all the writing courses. I'm up to Margaret Atwood, so I was making notes on it as I watched it, and then something else I printed out from Instagram. Both of these. This was a comment that I really enjoyed. The Bone Orchard, which is the one I'm reading at the moment, and I thought, well, for this one I'll try writing little bits every time I read it. So I'm changing pens, and every time I read it I make a note of where I'm up to with it, and that's it. That's where we're up to there. So now I have the problem that I have 2 journals, both of which feel like they're kind of getting there but not really, and I don't know which one to pick. I don't know which one to continue with. I don't know what to do. I'm very confused, and I'm like, what do I do? That's where I'm up to. Yeah, so in theory, the plan is finish at least one of these, or not necessarily finish it, but work in one of these till the end of the year and see what happens. But then I've got to decide which one I'm going to work in. See, I like this one because it feels right. Don't know. Okay, I don't know. It just feels right. But it's really heavy. And it's starting, the binding is starting to fall apart. It's starting to get a bit janky. It's not even a third of the way through yet, and it's already bursting at the seams because I've collaged in it for the last 30 days. I'm not excited about how it's going to hold out, even though I've had one of these books before and it held up perfectly fine. I did end up adding a bit of gaffer tape to the spine here in the same place. But I like this one, and it annoys me that I have to have a separate band because it doesn't have an elastic. And then I've got my moleskin, which I love my moleskins. You know I love my moleskins. But I made the mistake of getting this big, thick, chunky one in a soft cover, which makes it very hard to write in when you've got it on your knee, because it's all floppy and stuff. And although it's getting nice and chunky, it's also starting to get a bit falling apart. Which, again, I don't mind, but I'm kind of like... I think the problem is, here's the problem, I want to get a new book. That's the problem. My brain is going, just get another book. Just get a new book, start there. You won't have to deal with all the previous stuff, and ta-da. All your problems will be solved. Because that's how we solve our problems, isn't it? How do we solve our problems? We buy a new notebook. And I'm trying not to do that because, as you can see, I've got plenty of life left in these notebooks. There is no reason not to use these notebooks. So, yeah, that's the dilemma. That's where I'm up to. Very much first world problems. Thoughts, ideas, anybody? What would you do in my situation? Are you of the just sit down and get on with it variety? Are you pick a book and stick with it variety? Are you sod it, just buy another one variety? What are you at? Where are you at with this? Come on. Help me out here, guys. This is why I do this stuff with you around, so that I don't have to sit here and answer my own stupid questions. Come on. Tell me what I got to do. I'm all ears. Anytime. Take your time. It's fine. Go for it. What am I going to do? Come on. I think I am going to stop early. I might stop about past, give it another 10 minutes and then stop, because this cough is getting worse because I'm talking. So I think I need to rest it because I've got a Patreon session this afternoon and I'm going to have to talk then as well. So I don't want to be turning up there and coughing immediately. Mika, I'm more of a sticking with it, everything in one, makes the choice easier because there is no choice. I like the way you think, but my brain doesn't like that because I'm like, but there is a choice because there's 2 books. I wish I could think like that. I do wish I could think like that. Maria says, I currently have separate journals for different things, but I'm thinking of doing one book for everything. That's a common thing. Cody was talking about that in class the other day, actually. That she bounces between having one book for everything and different books for different things. Because some areas of life get more out of hand at different times than others. You know, if you go through a period of reading a load of books, then of course you're going to want to have a separate journal for your reading notes. If you go through a period of going out and about and drawing or, you know, journaling while you're out and about, maybe you would have a separate book that you just keep in your bag for when you're out. You know, that's perfectly normal. And maybe when you're back in a period of, well, it's winter now, I'm not sitting in the park drawing anymore because it's cold. Of course, you would then say, well, maybe I'll just put it all in one book. It'd be easier to lug it around the house, you know. There's a lot of a lag. Yeah, there is a lag. There is a lag. That's why I'm giving you time to answer. Jess, do you have a notebook in your stash with one you bought but never started? Are you new here, Jess? Do I have a notebook in my stash that I bought but never started? Do I have a You see, the problem with that question is, the answer is yes. And then I have to decide which of the many notebooks in my stash that I've never started I might want to work in, which is an even bigger question than which of these two do I stick with. You see the problem there? Because I also already have out this one, because I thought, well, maybe I'll go back to basics. Let's go back to basics. I've got this one. It's started, but it's not really anything. You know, I've got a few sketches and things in it, but I could easily go back and fill in gaps and stuff with journaling and things. And I could continue this as a journal. This is my old school type sketchbook that I used to just, you know, this is what I used to use. A See White's a Brighton, takes pretty much anything media type book. Cheap enough that I don't care if I rip out pages or do crap in it, but also sometimes you do some really good work because it's a nice paper to work on, and sometimes you take notes, and sometimes you do some urban sketching because you take it everywhere with you, and you know. And then I got my art journal. But I like the moleskin for specifically heavy duty type stuff that is more this kind of heavy work. So I've put this one on the side as this is going to be an art journal. But then I also have my sketchbook. Because I have lots of sketchbooks. Chris says, I get moments of not being able to decide because there's too many choices. Yeah, walking into the sweet store and not knowing what to pick because there isn't just 3 choices of chocolate bar, and if you don't like any of them, then tough. You get a bag of crisps. Yeah. Decision paralysis. I think that's where I am at. Decision paralysis. And it's not quite paralysis, it's decision full start. Because I keep doing a little bit and then trying a little bit and then swap books and you know, I'm overthinking it, and I know I am, but because the logical obvious answer is pick the one you feel like using and just use it. That's the logical answer, right? But that's not how my brain works. So, you know, that's like saying, well, if you want to get the washing done, go and do the washing. Because that happens, doesn't it? We don't get paralysis from just get up and take the washing out of the washing machine, ever, do we? I feel like the one with the black cover is more for arty kind of stuff, while the moleskin is more for journaling and adding some things, but not a whole collage arty thing. Not a whole collage arty thing, really. Really? This has only turned into a collage arty thing because I did the journaling challenge in it. If you go back before the journaling challenge, it's actually not much different to that. what kind of journaling do you want to do? That's the problem, isn't it? Because I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And that's why I'm stuck. And that, kids, is why we're doing journaling and stuff. And concentrating on figuring out how we journal and what we want to journal and what we want to do and etc. etc. And that's why we're going to be looking at it in Patreon. So I can stall my decision even more by getting ideas from other people. Tyler, I just got here, but why are you trying to make logical decisions when you're getting over the flu? This is a good point. This is a very good point. Yes. Yes. And that too. Yes. You got me. I think Mika's got a bit of a point in that I am kind of using these books a little differently. This is more kind of reading and writing, and this is more kind of sketching and putting things in. Yeah. So maybe the answer is use both. Flu fog. Yeah. I said right at the top of the stream, I was basically trying to think through a bucket of snot. That's where we're at. Flu fog is absolutely real. And that's where I'm at. For 10 days, my brain has been like, come on, body, why are you sick? I've got things to do. Come on. And eventually my brain just gave up and shut down. And now my body's like, hey, let's get back to work. And my brain's like, what? I'm having a nap. What day is it? Who's the president? Oh, we shouldn't ask that. Politics free stream. Yeah, there's no room for logic. Right. How about this? Let's try this. How about if I use this one for my reading and my writing, and more personal stuff, like really personal stuff, like I've got pictures of my mum in here, which I would normally put, I meant to put a post-it over it because she doesn't like having her photo on the internet, obviously. But I didn't, and now it's bothering me that I didn't, so I'm going to go and do that just in case. Let's put, there we go. That's mum under there. Put both books away, start a new one for everything. DC writes, you are an enabler, are you not? God damn it. I have so much paper in these books, though. Look how much paper is left in these books, though. You know what I did think was maybe I should take out what's in these books and use the paper that's left as a new book later. That's a thought that I had. And in the meantime, just start another one. But then I'm going to have blank page syndrome, which is not normally an issue for me, but I'll end up copying pages, recent pages out of both of these into the other one. Yes, an enabler, yes. We already had the, Jess very, very helpfully came up with a question along the lines of, do you have an unused notebook in your stash that you could just use? And of course we do. And then we have the decision of, but how do I pick what book from my stash to use? Because of course we don't have just one notebook in our stash that is unused. Sack all the notebooks, open GoodNotes and go digital. No. That is one thing I know I can't do. I like the tactileness of paper. I like cutting and pasting. I like sticking. I like drawing. I like the feel of pen on paper and no. I'm a tactile person. I'm never going to be a digital journaler. Never going to be a digital artist. I've tried it. I don't like it. I don't even like digital planning, which is probably more useful. I'm not, no. I'm old school. I'm analog. It's not going to happen. If only for the inconvenience that every time I pick up my bloody pen, stylus thingy, Apple Pencil, it needs recharging. And if it doesn't need recharging, my iPad needs recharging. Something always needs recharging, and I'm like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. When I get stuck, I start a new notebook. Yeah. And that's how we ended up with 2 notebooks. 3 notebooks. And a sketchbook. Yeah, this is where that ends up. This is where that ends up. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I am feeling very drawn to the concept of having more space. But also, my brain says, but you're lazy and you won't want to carry a big book like that around. Oh, and let's not forget, we also have my... No, that's not it. Where is she? My studio journal. No, that's not her either. Where are you? Where are you? Where have you gone? Why aren't you where you should be? Oh, and then we've got that one as well. Yeah, are you seeing the problem? This is what happens. I get to this point every time and I've fallen off the wagon and I'm like, let's just start a new book. Let's just start a new book. I got this one as well, look. Oh, I love the crinkle. You see the problem? That's where that leads to. What the heck, let's start a new book. That's where that leads to. If I was stuck, I'd just start a sewing or crochet project and dissociate for 2 weeks. Jess, I've just been off with the flu. I've done dissociating, okay? I'm as dissociated as I can be because I haven't journaled since properly or for any length of time since 2020. I'm already dissociated. That's the problem. Starting another project is not the answer. Take all the fully blank signatures from each book, bind them into a new one. That would work if they weren't all different sizes, but yes, that could. If you use a standard size book, yes, that could work. But that is along the lines of me thinking, and maybe just take all of this out and all of this out and put it together in one thing and call it a journal. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 blank notebooks to work with and see which one I want to use. Yeah, that was along the same lines. But that's too much work right now, as Mika quite rightly says. I mean, I could. That would certainly be a way forward, I think. Just, you know. The chunk and thickness in the middle of this one is kind of annoying me. So I may take these pages out and turn them into a book of just the... Oh, that might help, actually. Now we're getting somewhere. That might help. That's why I don't like using this book. Because it got really thick and chunky, and I was all right with this bit, but then this happened. Because it's so thick. Maybe I could take these out and put them into like a little junk journal for the journal challenge. Finish the journal up, call it a day. Maybe that's a solution or a potential solution. Let's have a look. Where's the end of the signature? Oh, that's the end of the signature, I think. Yeah, that's the end of the signature. And then which way is the end of the signature? I started at the end of a signature because I'm clever like that. So in theory, I could actually just take out this really thick, chunky bit. You know what? What's the worst that could happen? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's pull the bloody pages out. There are people who are going to be horrified by this, but it'll be okay, don't worry. Those two are together. That'll have to be split down the middle. There we go. I muted myself, sorry. Thank you, Maria. It was me. You see, Maria has been here for a while. She understands things. She ats me if it's important. Because on my black screen it shows up in orange. We're missing from 2 hurricanes in a row. Oh no. Oh, you're in Florida way. I'm not on mute anymore. Sound is back. Okay. Okay. So, there we go. There's my... I'm not on mute anymore. I'm back. I know there's a lag. It's fine. Thank you, Maria, for atting me so that I actually saw it. Yeah, chat delay. I know. See, I feel better about this already because it feels more manageable now. I've got the rest of the pages that I need to finish the challenge, plus a few extras. I can finish the challenge as a different thing. You know, I mean, that's a stream, right? putting this all back together into a little book and making a single junk journal out of it. Junk journal video coming to a stream near you at some point. Right? Because that makes sense now. That feels better already. Not having that in there, because it's chunky and it's really thick and it was a no. You've still got some of the prompts to do. Yeah, I think what I might do, I'm going to have a chat with Kia because I missed my stream. I'm going to have a chat with Kia. What I might do is on Sunday, maybe Sunday or maybe the Sunday after. It depends how I'm feeling and whether I can do an extra stream. But at some point I'll do a stream where it's just me finishing off the prompts with anybody else who wants to come and sit and finish off the prompts. Hey, John. But yeah, I feel better about not having this in here or having this separate. That feels good, having that separate. That's a little project I can do. So now we've got this, which is, we're going to have a few pages that might come out. Oh, well, that's a sketch page. It doesn't matter if that comes out. I can put those in my sketchbook. So now we just need to do a bit of reparo. Okay, let's do a bit of reparo. I could go through this and then go, nah. But you know, you don't try, you won't know, will you? So let's do a bit of reparo sticky on there, because that's come loose. And put a bit of reparo sticky on the back, even though this bit wasn't loose, but we'll put it on there anyway, as if it was loose, to make sure that it doesn't become loose. There we go. So there's that one. And then we've got kind of a stiff page, but that's okay because that kind of shows me where I'm restarting. So I don't mind that. And then we've got this mess to figure out. Got 2 pages there. Are those going to come loose? I don't think so. That one seems to be fine. And all we've got is this mess to figure out. That one is stuck to this one, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is grab some sticky tape and stick these 2 pages together so I don't have to deal with that mess. That's what I'm going to do. Stick it down and forget about it. When in doubt, grab some sticky tape. It's nice to see so many of you here today. Oh, hi Meg. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Snuck in on your lunch break. Yeah, it's nice to see so many of you here after I've taken a week off. 2 weeks off. Now, because I've got a big chunk gap here, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get this to align properly. So here's a little trick for getting it to align properly. Because the temptation is to just close the book and hope for the best. Just close the book and hope for the best is not necessarily the best idea. So what's usually a good idea is to prop your book up so it's not completely open flat. And then instead of trying to overlay this page on this page or whatever, grab the 2 pages, start at the spine and smoosh them together that way. That way you're not putting tension on either side of the page. And what should happen is this. Because that means that this book will now sit flat. Yes, this page is going to be a bit of a pain until you get it working. But look, once you've got it lying flat like that, it's fine. So this is a slightly thicker page, but that's okay. That's a slightly thicker page as well. That's also okay. I've got a couple of spare pages in here. This is a double page here. That's an extra page, and this is just a random bit in the middle. Right, let's take this one out. And then we've got a slightly thicker page, a couple of pages, and then a big thick page, which means I can start here. This can be my new start, is where that thick page is. See how easy it opens? See, that makes me happy. So what I'll probably do is just, you know, doodle on this or stick stuff in. Maybe I'll use this page for that random headlines idea. That'd be fun. Yeah, that might be fun actually. Might enjoy doing that. These can go in my other sketchbook. I really like these sketches. They've moved several sketchbooks several times, but these can go in my sketchbook. I don't want to stick them on here because this is really thick. This is going to be really thick. So okay, I don't think either of those. Oh, he'll fit there. He'll fit there. Can I fit this one somewhere? Not quite. Not quite without overlapping them, but yeah, he can go there. That'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just stick this somewhere else then. I'm sure I've got spaces back here where I can stick a random piece of paper that I can draw on. Yeah, let's cover that monstrosity up. Oh, actually, you could go there, couldn't you? And now this is just a single piece of paper. I can just use a glue stick. It's not smudging because I sprayed it with hairspray. I just use cheap, non-silicone, non-conditioning hairspray, like bog standard silver cream type stuff. Just maximum hold, super glue. So will the underneath of this one come off as well? No, this one's not going to come unstuck. Oh, it's like a little pocket, look. Okay, so maybe it will come off. Oh, it will come off. Okay. Fair. Okay, fair. Let's see where we can stick you then. Oh. Well, there's another David Tennant sketch, so I guess we'll put you there. How about that? There we go, that's that done. Put that in the back of the book. Nice bit of cover up paper. Got some spare white paper. Always handy. Okay. I'm still mildly annoyed that I have to use a band for this book, but maybe I'll put some elastic on the back of this, because it's not hard to do. You literally just kings and queens on one page. Yes. It's not hard to do. You literally just poke holes in your book and you make sure that you stick it down really well with like super glue or something, and you're done. You've got an elastic. So maybe I'll do that with that book, and then I won't have to keep messing about with this band, which really annoys me. And this one I'll use for writing notes and book notes and things, so more as a writey type. Because I do like writing in this one. I don't like necessarily drawing in it. But it's quite good for, because it's such thin paper, it's quite good for sticking things in and making notes. And I think I like this one with more my writing notes, book notes, and personal photos that I wouldn't want to put somewhere else. Yeah. Okay. That feels better. So our answer is we're going to use both, but for different purposes. I guarantee you at some point I will be like, I'm just going to do it all in one book because it's driving me crazy having two. But for now, I've got a lot of writing notes to do because I'm doing... because I like to punish myself, I'm doing NaNoWriMo because I'm doing a December writing challenge. So it's not stuff that has to be done like urgently or anything. It's for December, so it's not like I'm publishing as I go. But it just keeps me on track. So, but I'm only doing NaNoWriMo in as much as hopefully by the end of November I'll have 50,000 words. That's as far as I'm going with it. I'm just keeping a record of what I do, filling in the numbers. It's not really, if I don't make it, I don't make it. I don't care, you know. If it takes me into December, then that's fine too. Okay, so I've got a sketchbook. I've got a book for writing notes and reading notes. And then I've got this one, which now feels much better. This actually feels like this now. I've just knocked my pencil case over and all my pencils are going to fall off the desk and end up on the floor. Because they're all going to go down the little hole that is between my desk and the floor and the back. Fantastic. Hopefully they've all ended up in Maddie's bed. And I'll just be able to pull Maddie's bed out and rescue them all. But if not, RIP pencils. RIP my pencils. This book feels like this now. How fun. How strange. But how fun. Interesting. So there we go. I'm ready to get stuck into whatever it is I'm going to end up doing. I think this will be a bit experimental to begin with, but we shall see. I've got some bits I can stick in already. Look. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to use this for yet, but I could use it for something, I'm sure. Maybe an index or something. Ideas list or something. Could put you on there. I mean, there you go. Oh, let's use chunky glue stick. Let's get the big guns. This was a misprint page from something else. Is it a page in one of my sketchbooks? Yes. Is it already printed into another of my books? Yes. Am I going to waste this print by not sticking it anywhere? No, of course not. Why would I do that? And since we're doing collagey things, we might as well stick this down as well. Oh, this is sticky, look. This is on sticky paper. And then we've got a little page to do a list or something, or whatever. Write down some ideas. Whatever we decide to do. Let's stick it down at the bottom so we can put a title if we want to. Alright, there we go. Do I have anything I can stick on there? Not really, not at the moment. Not to hand. Okay. Hi, Casey. Unfortunately, you've joined us just as I'm about to finish, but I've been on for 2 hours, so you can go back to the beginning and watch from there. Okay, so I've got a journal. I need to add a bit of elastic, I think, because this is going to drive me nuts, having to have a band all the time. But this feels better. And then this bit that I took out, which is quite thick and chunky and stiff and hard to use, I will turn this into a little mini junk journal. So I guess I'll do a stream on that, how to turn a chunk that you've ripped out of another notebook into a junk journal. How to put it together into its own book, maybe. And then finish the challenge at some point, I suppose. It's always Halloween for some of us, right? So, yeah, there we go. Success. I feel like I've reached a point of success. This feels good. This feels better. I feel like I've got somewhere today. Let's put one of these back in here because it's always handy for when you've sketched something. And there we have it. So if you want to follow this crazy journey for the month and explore different types of journaling and stuff with me, that's what we're doing over on Patreon this month. If you want to come and give it a go. Arty stuff is on Saturdays, so that's the mixed media tier, my mixed media mongrels, and everything else will be in the $10 tier, including tarot journaling, because that's what we're doing today. So if you want to come over, try it out for a month, you can. Been trying to use up my stuff and not buy anything new because, you know, that's the responsible thing to do. Yes, also, yes. Here too, yes. Or getting something new that excites you to go with what excites you. Life's too short. Yeah. The trouble is I start using something and then I'll end up with 3 books that are only part finished. And the cycle will continue. So I'm trying not to do that. But I feel good about this. I feel like this is doable. And once I've finished this one, I get to find another book that I want to use to do this in. So this is my experiment book where I can do whatever I want and see what happens and see what comes about and what I want to do and how I want to do it. And also with my other one, I mean, this will get filled up if I use it for writing notes easily. So again, maybe I can finish both of these with different things, and then I can get another book that I just do all of it in. Who knows? Eh? There are many roads. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. So I will see you again tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to be doing. Maybe journaling. I should be doing some planning, but flu brain is real. And I don't think flu brain can cope with planning right now. So I think flu brain needs to just coast and do what it knows it needs to do and just forget about the planning bit for a minute. Because I'm just going to get more confused and more muddled up and more... Oh my God, they've moved that stupid heart. Ah! The heart is moved. You know the heart that used to cover a big chunk of the chat at the bottom? They've moved it. They've put it down into the bar next to where you type and where you do super chats. Thank you, YouTube gods. Thank you. I love you. Okay, anyway. Patreon links is in the description if you want to join us for the month. If you don't, that's fine. I will still be on YouTube. But come on over and have a play. You can also follow me on Patreon, which doesn't cost anything. And that will give you notifications about Twitch and YouTube, and you're not reliant on YouTube to tell you what's happening and when. There's also my shop over there, which doesn't have a lot in it because I haven't done anything because I've been off sick, but there will be. There will be. Oh, it's still there on mobile. Oh, that sucks. Maybe they'll update the app. Maybe. Hopefully. But it's gone on laptop, on desktop, which is good. Yeah. See you guys tomorrow. And if you're in Patreon, see you at 5. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.